Well, my kids have told the story of the crossing of the Delaware for a long time, but they've never actually been there. So I love getting to surprise them and actually take them to the very place where Washington crossed the Delaware. So now when they tell the story, they can actually see in their own minds what that location is. It makes it so much more real for everybody. You see the storm, all right? It's snowing. Some of you don't even have shoes on, and you're looking at that river and the ice and the storm is raging, and you know that you're gonna have to cross that. And even if you make it to the other side, you're gonna have to march 9 miles in the snow, no shoes, wrapping their feet in burlap. You're gonna have to march 9 miles to then fight guys that are far better trained than you. We're able to kind of walk through exactly what they went through, starting at 4 in the afternoon, and took them 12 hours to get everybody across that river, which was hard to visualize, because when you're sitting there looking at a pretty calm river in good weather, you'd think they could have got in and got across everybody within an hour. And you remember where we just went? Where'd we go earlier today?
Carpenter's Hall.
Carpenter's Hall. And what happened there?
Where they
had the First Continental Congress.
First Continental Congress. What did I want you to remember from that?
The prayer.
The prayer. So George Washington on his knees praying. He had no idea at that time that he would end up here. And remember what happens before the crossing. They lose battle after battle after battle. This is almost like a Hail Mary pass in a football game. This is like, I mean, Washington is deciding to do something that no one thinks is possible. In fact, the British are packing up to go home because nobody fights in the winter. So he's actually going against all the normal rules of engagement. He's going against what they expect him to do. They never thought that the Americans would cross that icy river and come attack them on Christmas days. Then secondly, he gets down here, he realizes how bad the weather is. They hadn't planned on a snowstorm and the horrible weather that was gonna happen. And so he gets in the middle and he still decides to go forward. So without that life of prayer and that life of understanding that God is sovereign, I don't think there's any way he would have got in that boat and crossed that river and put all those lives at risk. So down there you can actually see that little island right there. That's where they hid the boats, behind that island. Okay. So you look back here and you can see what it probably looked a lot like this, except with snow and ice, right? But then you look off this side, hey, we got an actual bridge, we got cars coming across. This represents American ingenuity and the results of the American spirit 200 years later, because of what they did right here 237 years ago on Christmas Day, 1776. We're able to enjoy all the things that America offers to us. Well, what do y'all think? We actually got to see where it happened. Was that worth the trip to go see where the Delaware was crossed?
Oh, absolutely.
Do you think that'll help you when you're up on stage telling the story?
Yeah, just a little bit.